South Africans really don't seem keen to go down the station wagon road, even though they are massively popular in Europe. I guess consumers, are more concerned about what are people going to think and image than with common sense. Our market thinks that because you drive a station wagon, you're on the shelf, you family, you boring. But if there's one manufacturer that has never ever made a boring station wagon, that's Audi. Of course, the A4 is massive for Audi, not only in South Africa but globally as well. And with BMW having launched their raved about 3 series, Audi's responded with their facelifted A4, which has come to the market. I guess the biggest talking point isn't really about the styling, because not too much has changed there, but it really is about the engines. Obviously continuing on that route where they're bringing out small capacity turbo engines, which make the cars way more fuel efficient, but still deliver fantastic performance. What we thought we'd do though is get our hands on the Avant. As motoring journalists, I tell you what, you suddenly realize that nobody actually cares or listens to what you say, because I don't know one motoring journalist that does not love a station wagon, yet they don't seem to sell. So I think we need to define or try and understand why that is. Why do you buy a station wagon? Well, you love the way a car handles and drives on the road. It's comfortable, it's got really good roadside manners. Those are sort of things that are lost on SUVs. In terms of the extra space, I mean, the Avant has massive boot space at the back. You drop the seats, it's immense. You don't get that in the SUV. The boots are tiny. Practicality, you want to load gear into the boot. Well, you've got to lift it up to try and get into an SUV because they sit so high off the ground. Here in a station wagon, you've got everything you want from a car. The practicality, the drivability. I can't understand why people don't buy it. So let's get into the Avant. We've got 2 options on the market in South Africa, the 1.8 TFSI or the 2-litre TDI. We're driving the 1.8, 125 kilowatts, 320 newton meters of torque. And I tell you what, it is fun to drive. Obviously, when you are pushing it into the higher rev range, you realize that it is a 1.8. But certainly very, very punchy through the gears and off the line. And that's what's going to give people who are driving it that bit of finesse and thrill. You feel like you are driving a sports car and you forget you've got a big boot, in theory, at the back. So I really do enjoy the punchiness of it. I love the fact it's front wheel drive as well, no quattros on these. So you do get a bit of torque steer if you are letting that clutch out pretty quickly, but that just adds to the driving feel. The new Audis, all the A4 range, come with the electromechanical steering wheel, which what they're saying is when you're driving dead straight, as I am doing now, no power is required to operate the steering system. So that's obviously adding to improved economy and efficiency down the line. Talking about economy and efficiency, driving on the open road, we've actually got pretty close to what manufacturers have been predicting. We're sitting at about 7.7, but the minute you do drive it, that's when the fuel consumption certainly goes through the roof. We've been sitting about 13 litres per 100 when we've been thumping it, and I suppose that's only negative with small capacity engines. When you do drive them hard, those turbos are working. For me, something I've always had a complaint about is the steering on the Audis. They're heavy, they weight up, but for me it still feels a little bit wooden. And I find because we've been given the Audi Avant with the 19-inch optional extra wheels, which look stunning, let me tell you, I just find the ride far too hard and firm and choppy for what a station wagon is meant to be delivering. This is meant to be a compliant, pleasant, comfortable drive on the road, and I find it a little bit firm for South African road conditions. So I certainly wouldn't go for that as the optional extra, because they do cost you 20 odd grand as well. They might look good, but they certainly detract from the ride. And that's probably the only negative. In terms of interior, well, I mean, Audi just doesn't really do anything wrong when it comes to interior. The only fault I do have, I think it's time they need to bring out a little USB adapter or iPod connectivity, because I've looked everywhere in this car and it's got SD cards and it's got auxiliary jacks, but it just doesn't have anything for me to put my USB in. So that's a little gripe that I do have. Talking price, I think they're pretty competitive, coming in at 350 grand for the 1.8 TFSI that we're driving. Not bad at all. In the manual 6-speed, guys, you pay a little bit more if you do go into the 8-speed automatic, but it's when you start putting in those extras that the bill really starts getting hefty. They've got it added in 74 grand's worth of extras. Nice to have things, but for me the only thing I would really pay for is the S package, which gives you the really nice exterior body kits, the side sills, the chrome detailing as well, and that for me makes the station wagon certainly look the part, the Avant with purpose. So if you're in 2 minds whether station wagons are the way to go, maybe this will help convince you. The RS4, has been launched internationally is coming to South Africa. You're going to have to love station wagons, because if you want to go super sporty and buy the new RS4 when it does come out, it only comes out in Avant, guys. Makes you think, eh? Well, if you're still not convinced, there's of course only one thing to do: take the plunge and drive one for yourself. But after the break, we make our way to China for an inside look at the Photon factory and to find out which of their vehicles will be coming to South Africa in the near future.